Clive. What is it that you wish to learn?
Of course. Here you are. Very good.
Ultima may have created us, but he doesn't make us who we are. Only we can do that. And if he would have us fight for our survival, so be it. It's what we've been doing all along.
Much like Ultima himself, it would seem. His new world being naught but a means to survive. And so, we must contend to decide which of us shall inherit the land. Should Ultima prevail, it will mean death for us all. Of that, we can be certain. But even should he fail, what world awaits us? A withered, godless place, where our newfound freedom will most like prove a chain in itself.
Well, that may be. But a chain can always be broken. As long as one has the will to break it. It won't be easy. It may take generations. Centuries of suffering. And that is, if everyone plays their part. But it will happen. And when it does, it will be on our terms. That is the world that awaits us.
Indeed. And what better world could one wish for?
But first, we have to reach that crystal.
Then it's a good thing I have wings.
You can barely stand, let alone fly. And only the Founder knows what horrors await in those skies. You certain about this?
Am I certain? I am the Phoenix. I will do what I must. This is our fight. Remember?
All right. I yield. But only what you must, yes? I'm still your swan shield.
That you are.
And what of my wings? Lest you forget, you go to stand against a god. I would not have you succumb to fatigue before the fight begins. Ifrit, your brother mentioned that some few of the dominants who had lost their power to you were still able to prime. Is that true?
It is. But their icons no longer submitted to their will.
Then mine will have to be stronger. That you both might save your strength for the battle to come.
You don't have to do this.
If you do, there's a chance you might lose all you have left.
And what have I but regret? My life ended in the Dominion. I fear death no more. Besides, I would have words with Ultima. He has much to answer for.
We are in your debt, Dion.
We can speak of debts when this is over.
He speaks like a man who knows he's not coming back. And has come to terms with that.
That doesn't mean that we have to, does it, Clive?
Time to talk to Jill. I only hope she understands.
I will not forget this kindness, my lord. I shall go to Xvi-Part as soon as the rebuilding work is complete.
Come to wish on a star.
That might not be such a bad idea. This is it, Jill. You know what I have to do. Why I have to do it. There's no turning back now. This is where our journey was leading us. Where it will end, for better or worse.
I could pray to Metia for you. But you'll be all right, won't you, Clive? You always are.
I did promise we'd watch the moon together.
I'll be waiting.
It's almost time. Better make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Thank you, Uncle.
As for down here... Clive, my boy! Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to get involved.
I would have done the same for anyone else.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me...
From what little I saw, you were...
I suppose I should have expected the worst. But I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things a little... Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply. We must move quickly.
But where do we start?
True, the challenges that face us are many. But in the realm's armies, as you've seen firsthand, certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some... And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. In short, if Storm does not stand together, she will fall apart.
But how would one even begin to unite the realm?
The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by restoring order among the ranks of those sworn to maintain it. Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gaggle of privates to dig a latrine together. But I do know someone the High Commanders have been known to listen to on occasion. Field Marshal Eugen Havel.
I thought he was retired.
He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is no man alive more, and as luck would have it, I've already spoken.
Of course you have.
And he's agreed to help. Havel has always been a man of frustratingly rigid principle. And I extolled your many virtues as best I could, of course. But the old goat was adamant that he be... You don't mind, do you, my boy?
Of course not. As long as chaos reigns, we will never build a better world. And if the Field Marshal wishes to speak with me in person...
That's the...
I'll leave for Randalar at once. Would you send a Stolas?
Of course. Rutherford is already in the Dalmekian capital.
Excellent.
No, thank you.
Is he wanting?
Clive. Ta-ra then.
Thank you, Cap.
You could do this. If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it. Finished, are you?
Crack the crystal. Not a very good one, but then... So, what'll it be? Anything else?
Ah, Clive. This is it then, brother. Indeed.
You're wrong.
Of course.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
It's... not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will.
His will?
In the crypt, beneath Rosalind. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet, and in the process of doing so...
I'm surprised anything survived that.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning...
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter.
Very well.
Courage, Ifrit. My decision is made. You said it yourself. He must be.
He must.
My decision is. You said it. He must.
He must.
Make ready.
Sid, do you have a moment?
By all means.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escaping her. And something else. Records from a Waluda prison.
How did she come back?
Finding bearers always was, and it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. Foreign cap, and even better for her. Bearers with no one to look after them.
Leaving the bearers to be liberated by...
Sid, I'd like to believe that and while I'm well aware that you've forbidden curse breakers from traveling to... I can't let those bearers die in their cells. I'd rather risk...
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception. But we travel and we stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best of times. We save as many...
Thank you, Sid. There was Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. A gifted soldier, and the closest thing I had to the thought of him held captive in that...
He must be very important.
He was.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit Wall. We should head there as quickly as we can.
As do I, Dor.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to... As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability.
I don't mind, but...
Because he wants to be a... Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and... But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why, and since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the traits in him that we should look for.
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
One can never have too many...
Truer words. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
Do you see that too?
What is it? Oh, please. I'm scared.
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia. be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal, oblige him.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, finish him.
Nice try.
Farewell.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along.
Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, well, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen. You, perhaps?
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator. And I may know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well. Send your man to me right away.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis. Your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his manor in Port Isolde.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to talk anyone round. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. This is a job for someone with experience. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least.
The bearer of the burning quill is within, my lord.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father?
Yes, I have it here.
If you would do us the honor, my lord.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides. Those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the...
It's a pity only they...
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first, but one at least remains. And she has...
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with a...
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
This is the Required Tree, an archive where we of the Undying collect and collate our findings. Fragments of Ultima's true nature surely lie buried within these pages.
My lord, your grace. I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix and his shields. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service.
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady.
Perhaps you could... What exactly is the gift?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain...
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armband, alas. He did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before he had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished article, but with his grace long since gone. And the stone, you are grown men now. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone, I know that nothing would have pleased him.
Thank you.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May our father...
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon it. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen...
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, your grace. In answer to... In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its... Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield?
What say you, Joshua?
What else? Titan's Wake is to the south of here. But we must not be hasty. The good lady has been disappointed once already.
Good girl. Run like the wind. Eyes peeled, Joshua. There it is. For House Rosfield. Nice try.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Goditha will know.
Thank the Founder you were safe. The Griffin is slain then?
And the Heartstone claimed.
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame, it is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your Grace. Your father would be so proud.
Lady Goditha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith. The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. They are yours, after all. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield, as brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, his heirs. But this was more than just a message. It was a promise. That he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Goditha, for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's will.
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So, how were you able to keep them from her?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands, of the deep love he had for both of you, and his hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I fled into the night.
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the Griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued, until Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered, and that his sons were alive and well.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
As do I.
Thank you, my lord. Your Grace, for coming back to us, for giving my service meaning. I remain your faithful servant, my lord.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial atop Hawk's Cry Cliff? Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Shall we pay father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate. I prithee claim it, for it too is a part of your inheritance, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands than perched upon some lonely rock.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Beneath the flood, yes.